You just turned it off.
Oh, well, that certainly doesn't help.
No.
That certainly doesn't help.
Okay. Everything's good now.
What do you think the problem was? I would love to do it. See, I'd be the guy. You start the podcast, you talk about what the problems were, and you go 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. I lose my place several times, and then at the end I go, well, what were we talking about? And then you say we weren't talking about anything. I said I thought I was doing something funny about the technical problems, right?
Tomato.
You know, Josh, I missed you. It's been a long time.
I missed you too, Andy.
I mean, I really am. Not the way you say it with a certain amount of...
No, I thought I mustered up some real sincerity for that.
I've heard better. No, you did sound... Maybe I can't hear. That's what I should tell my therapist. I can't hear the compliment.
I don't speak human, maybe is what you should say.
Yeah, you know, my problem is... Maybe I could be one of those people who went to therapy and goes, look, I'm just trying to have a human experience with you, pal. And then do that with everybody.
Right,
yeah?
and
put them on the defensive.
They go, I'm afraid our time is up.
No, not no. You mean in real life they'll say that?
No, when you say, yeah.
No, I'm saying in real life I'll take the things I've learned in therapy and use it to defeat people.
Spin them.
You got some issues. I don't know if it's transference. I don't know. I hated myself. Maybe you hate. Then you get them to start thinking about how they hate themselves, and once again you win.
That's checkmate for every situation for me.
Checkmate. But
I hate yourself, then my work is done.
No, that's only the real Andy Kindler is much less organized in terms of my pain.
Yeah. Why don't you alphabetize your pain like your jokes?
Well, that was a big issue when I was in England. Was because before I went to England, I keep calling it England like someone who's never heard the word before. I kept saying...
I don't understand. I mean, what do you...
England... No, I keep thinking England's wrong for some reason. No, I think Britain's wrong. But is it wrong?
Britain's wrong.
Okay, but England...
England, yeah.
And if I say the UK, that's ridiculous.
That's also correct.
Though. It's correct. But I went to London. It's probably fine.
Yeah, any of those.
Any of those are good. And so I said to myself, for some reason, I didn't want to take out notes in this format, which is, I know it's all my problem. You came up with the only solution that works. But I did realize that the other problem is that if I'm nervous and having and jet lag and all this kind of stuff, even with my notes out there, I'd still be like fumbling with the notes. You know?
Which is worse? 5 minutes on how I'm forgetting, or 5 seconds on I got notes.
I think the reviewer would say, the reviewer who reviewed my first show for chortle.com.
Yeah.
And I says I prefer guffaws.
.net.
.gov. They gave me 3.5 stars. So
that was your first one out of the gate?
Out of the gate. I was completely discombobulated.
Yeah.
And they said, I'll give you 3.5 stars. And so I said, my act is like a restaurant you wouldn't choose to dine at.
Is this out of 5 or 4?
Out of 5.
Okay.
Oh, come on, man. You don't think I would complain about 4.5 stars? I would be out driving Lyft with those numbers. Which is actually bad for Lyft.
And sort of bad for a professional comedian as well.
Well, 3.5, that's no prize. He reviewed my show from Chortle, and he was actually right. Now, here's the thing I'll defend myself.
Is this the one you kept posting over and over? As the
the later
horrible
one
review? Okay.
The later one that came in was the greatest one. Do you want me to start with this and then go back to other things? What would you like me to do?
Well, how would you like to play this? Do you want to go most emotional moments from 1 to 10? Or do you want to go sequentially through the trip?
Well, I think sequentially.
Or do you want to,
well, I think
ask me how I am? No, just kidding.
That's not one of the options. I'll start with the one about the reviews because I won't forget the other stuff. So the reviews, the second woman came from Vulture Hound Mag.
That was the bad one. Yeah.
That was so terrible. And this might be the worst. Someone pointed out that if you took out a comma, she said relied on jokes about Hitler, comma, being Jewish. If I take out the comma, it would be relying on jokes about Hitler being Jewish.
That's a whole new spin.
Right. All she did, Josh, was describe exactly what I was saying my act was. Like she called it grudging laughs. And a comic friend of mine, John Doerr, said, I thought that was a pretty no, Jesselnick said, that's a pretty funny title. That was my title.
Yeah.
Yeah, she took my word. She didn't say, as he says himself. And then everything else was exactly what happened. He came in late. The show starts at 9.
Yeah.
It wasn't like coming over to a podcast. Right. I was supposed to be there. I had the full power of a theater behind me.
Right. So you're late for your own show?
No, I wasn't. I was actually, for your purposes, I was back there ready to go.
Right.
But they were seating people.
How long did you hold it?
Till 9:05.
Oh, well, that's bullshit.
Right?
That's total honky bullshit.
Yeah. So it shows he started late, walking out with his Red Bull and his phone that had a timer on it.
Right.
And so, guilty, you got me.
Right.
It's like, I think she thinks it's a play where I'm supposed to come out in like overalls or, you know.
We'll tell you how long you're going to be here.
Oh, what is that? And so then I thought, thank God that night I didn't have my notes because she would have gone nuts. But so she proceeded to say,
But it was the typical. I read it, and
Yeah.
it was the typical. I don't get Andy Kindler review. You know,
Yeah.
which is he. Why is he blaming us for his jokes not working?
yes, and also,
So you just, I mean, those you just have to toss by the wayside psychically. I mean, you know, I understand the comedy value of it.
yes.
But psychically, it's like, okay, this person just doesn't fucking get me.
Yeah, I don't think I would. I don't think the only time I would to admit to that I would be upset about a review like that would be only in terms of these are the reviews I have in London. I'd like to have a good review, but who cares? I thought it was delightful that this person, she actually took the side of hecklers. These hecklers got up. They weren't hecklers. There's an older man, an older woman got up, and the guy goes, I'm sorry, I have to go home now. Harvey Weinstein's babysitting my kids. Then the woman says, I'm going to ask for a refund. So
Was this because you said Louis C.K.? What was the...
We never could figure out exactly what it was. I think it was because they heard me talking about Louis C.K.
Yeah.
and just assumed it was that I was pro exposing yourself. They would think, and I can't imagine anybody, but I don't even think, who knows, you go down that road of what were they thinking?
Right.
But when they leave, and then this one guy in the front row, he goes, fuck, he goes, fuck off to them, right, as they're leaving. She describes that as a mob mentality. She says, like, it was very disturbing to watch that. But it wasn't disturbing to watch somebody interrupt the show.
Right.
So anyway, I think the person who wrote it has never been to a comedy show and has no sense of humor.
Right. And doesn't like you.
Well, that's but everything, I would say, you know, my act has no structure. His act had no structure. She would write. But then there's another thing I've noticed that not all London reviewers are this way, but some reviewers in general, they're looking for a way to catch you. Like, he says this is his act. Like the first night.
But, you know, it's like, you know, you have to think of it like Trump. Think of what you're planting in the audience's head with those messages.
Well, which ones? The review?
I'm failing. I suck. This didn't work.
Well, that's a whole different...
The weak-minded people are going, he's failing. He sucks. It didn't work. I like him.
That's why. Yes. But now, here's the thing. I can sit with you. Well, I would sit with you and argue about it. But no, the point is, I know that I'm over-exaggerating how I'm doing.
Of course. That's...
But the other thing is, the first show, which I was kind of embarrassed about because I couldn't remember anything, and I was all...
You know who else knew you did that? The theater that booked you.
What's that?
Knows that that's your act.
Yeah. And they were actually, everybody, this one guy who I became very friendly with, James Matthews, shout out to James Matthews, he said he came to the first show and he really enjoyed it, which to me meant one of the things I need to do is get off my own back. I need to impose the Roger Federer rule. I am not going to be as great as Roger Federer, but his thing is I pick one day to grieve over a loss, and that's it. It's over. So I have to stop doing this. Every bad, what I consider a bad set is an existential battle. I just got more used to being in London, and I had doing longer sets, and I got more used to things.
It sounds like the second week was more fun overall.
Yeah, and even from the second night on, I mean, I think I had fun almost every night, but it is a weird thing where high ceilings, and they do have a reserve. There was like a reserved theater feel,
right?
And a lot of comics said it was a tough room to do that way.
Yeah,
you know, but
and sales wise, you did okay.
I didn't go. I mean, I think I got like half a house every night.
So no bonus, but
but they were happy.
Guarantee was enough to make it worthwhile.
Absolutely. And now the Airbnb, that's a whole other story. But it was a great neighborhood. It was like 3 flights up.
Yeah,
and. Everyone's saying, you love these I don't know who these people say, oh, you love these Airbnbs. You'll never go back to a hotel. That's not true.
I had no thought in my head that you would love Airbnb, quite honestly.
Right. Have you been in one?
I didn't want to be Captain Killjoy. I threw in the people germs thing last time.
Oh, yeah, that stopped me on a dime.
But...
Ooh. The only thing that could comfort me was another uncomfortable thought about how many people have been in a hotel before you've been there.
Right.
That doesn't help you.
No, but there's professional cleaners.
Professional cleaners. I looked under the bed for the last day, and there was a caked dust underneath the bed. It's a fake hardwood floor, which is who cares?
Yeah.
The most disturbing part that Susan and I agreed with was it was like a couch that like a fold out, almost like it's not a fold out couch, but it came out. It's like right on the floor. The couch is.
Okay.
And the couch was filthy. As I looked at it the last day, I said, "This is filthy." Now.
I love that you did all this inspecting on the last day.
No. I was feeling creepy the whole time.
Okay.
And Susan was antibacterialing everything.
Yeah.
They had a brand new bathroom. It had just been put in. And so we were high-fiving over that.
Okay.
That's like joy to us.
Right.
Because, but then you see what they do. They just buy the bare minimum. This is like, if you want to go someplace for a week, don't tell me you're going to love the B&B unless you have to have a decent couch. I'm sorry, I don't know how much money you need to make. You need to make enough money that you could have a decent couch, a decent-sized TV, in every Airbnb. The TV was across the room, and it was a tiny British type of TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, it showed like gardening shows.
Monty Python's great, but, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a great documentary about J. Paul Getty, and I don't know why you said he was such a cool dude. But London was so much fun. But the thing is, when was the last time you went on a trip that long?
Well, the last time I went on a trip that long was the dock, I think.
Oh, that's even, yeah. How long was the first, did you change planes?
No.
Get to?
No, we flew to Hong Kong from LA.
How long was that? 10 hours?
No.
Longer?
No, like 14, I think.
Yeah, that's a hard thing. This was a pleasure. My brother bought me tickets, as everyone who listens to the podcast knows. And that was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. It was so great. It made it another thing.
You are quaking this table.
Sorry.
That's okay.
It made me so... I know, there's no reason for me to have the fun for it. But it was really good, really comfortable. And
yeah, I like the Transocean business class is the way to go.
Oh, except for the tweeting.
Yeah. But even that, I knew you were off in your own little cubby doing your mad tweeting on the plane.
Well, the most one was embarrassing, but it was like, it wasn't embarrassing. It's just what happened. I tweeted it. It said it didn't go, so I worked on it a little more. I tweeted it again, and then the guy I was fighting with shows them side by, which I don't even know how you do the side by side. Can you do that? You probably can.
I could work it out. If it was to spite you, I'd do it.
And it's like, so they were using that as evidence that I've gone crazy.
Yeah.
And another thing, exactly like the last thing I wrote with the same words. So that was dirty cool.
And it was the same dude that you've been swoggled by before.
No, yeah. That's the thing. I realized at the end of this whole thing, besides, sure, we can always look back at things and go, what were you thinking? What were you doing? What were you hoping to achieve? Which I'm sure my therapist will say. But the thing I realized I had never processed was being angry about not that he had... I felt sandbagged during the interview, but it wasn't his fault.
Right.
I just thought he wasn't gonna attack me.
Right.
But I feel he sandbagged me with the way he promoted it, and now I've become a joke on his website. And so people keep thinking...
So you start fighting with him again.
That's the point that needs I need an intervention on.
Yeah.
Well,
you played the card that I've busted you on, but the mother card is the thing that I just think is rhetorically it's a failure for you. When people go, well, how about my mother, the Quaker? Fuck you. You can't, and then you go, you're talking about my mother when no one was talking about your mother.
No, I don't know. I don't care about that. No, I only said that to bother him when he said the Quaker Oats. I said, that was me going, she has Parkinson's, idiot. I don't care. I didn't care. I mean, you're not going to see this in the Smithsonian later.
No, I
as an example of my great back and forth. But here's the thing. What upsets me is that this guy, Zapps, and all these people, they don't know anything about Quakers. So that's what bothers me, that they don't know anything. But how am I going to eventually get over it? That other people think that some belief or concept of
Let
God.
me just say, on behalf of the Quakers,
we don't need it.
We'll take care of it, Andy.
Well, I did have some Quakers come in and said, and because people don't know what it is. It's
Right.
but you know what?
And they're fine with that.
Here's the thing.
By the way.
Exactly.
Yes.
Until I got online in these horrible arguments, I had no idea that anyone would ever perceive the Quaker religion as being negative. I mean, I get the hack jokes with the oats. Everyone, I do it.
Sure.
When I don't feel well and I want to surprise myself,
Even you do have
I say, my mother's a Quaker. What is she? What does she wear the hat and eat oats? But this one guy was so unpleasant, and the thing I realized was that all these people are unpleasant. All these people who follow the quote intellectual dark web or follow mean they're all terrible people.
Okay, sure.
It doesn't. You don't think they're terrible people.
No, I don't care.
You don't care. That's
I
a
don't
big difference.
care.
That's true. That's true.
There are subcultures of terrible people pucking the internet.
Well, I think they helped Trump get elected. These people. I think they helped the Muslim man. But then you say, yes, Andy, that may be true, but are you helping with your hideous, you made fun of my mommy. You made fun of my mommy.
You may not be the rhetorical point man we need.
I'm the worst. In other words, if I'm going to be in favor of your cause, you must hire me to do comedy for it, but don't mention the topic.
You're our Rudy Giuliani.
Oh, that hurts. Yeah. Yes, it did go through the law. My favorite thing was, yes, went through the law firm. It was not a campaign contribution.
Funneled through the law firm.
And he goes, yes, funneled the law firm. I love when you can see the wheels going in his head. I don't think he has wheels.
No.
I don't think fascists have wheels. Yes, you heard me. You heard me. But the jet lag was to die. It was horrible going. But how horrible was it? I lived. How bad was any of it?
I was interested in calculating the times when I would see a tweet, like trying to doing the time conversion, like what
you
time?
did it perfectly, but I was off that one night.
Yeah, I did send you an onstage message, but you were off. Yeah,
I swear to God,
I said do an N.
Do a joke N. So, is Nancy? Anybody have a friend named Nancy?
That's what you would have gone for.
What would you have gone for? I
don't know. I would have gone for one of my N jokes.
I'm not even smart enough to get that you're referring to my. There is nothing in N.
Well,
OCD on O. P. There's a papal person.
Yeah.
You know that joke? I like the Pope, and I'm not normally a papal person.
Aha. Aha.
Pants. You know my pants joke. When I
Sure.
first heard the expression, he puts on his pants one leg at a time like everybody else. I said, I can avoid the groin injuries.
I was jumping off a chair into both legs, and you used to do.
I was like Jerry Lewis, but
Yes,
less funny.
you were very close to Jerry Lewis.
But less funny,
And speaking of being like a comedian but not as funny, I read an interview with you which was like 100% Groucho answers.
Oh, because I wrote them, Josh.
I know.
It's an email Q&A.
I could tell.
Yeah. What do you want me to-
And I'm like halfway through going, is this a spec script for MASH? What is this?
Over there in London, they have one of the PR person who was fantastic. She goes, "Do you want to write an article about something that's happening in the news and like 800 words and it'll help your?" No, I don't want to. They have, but they do a lot.
It will cripple me for 3 weeks.
But they do a lot of that. I had to do like 2 or 3 email Q&As. The one I did with Chortle made more sense. But this guy was like, "You like comedy? What would you do? You're a comedian.
I do 5 minutes. Blah 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 blah."
Do you? I think of do you think
When did you start comedy? I'm thinking of starting next Thursday.
Well, do you want me to say, okay, here's the alternative. I started comedy in 1984. I was a musician before I got into comedy, and then I started comedy in 84. I went on about well, you have to think of something interesting to say. I'm not saying I achieved
That's what
it.
I'm saying.
Look, you can't get to me with these articles that I can't defend. We sent Andy Kindler a template.
A joke worksheet.
Didn't he make it
to
seem like he
fill
was in the
out.
room with me, though?
Yeah, it was uncanny. I mean that in the uncanny valley sort of way.
In the uncanny valley?
Yes.
I went with the wrong choice to drink here today.
Ginger ale?
No, I like ginger beer, but I like ginger beer
beer.
that's very sweet.
Yeah,
This has a bite to
That's
it.
very herbal.
Yeah, this brand.
It has a
No, not that brand, but there's a brand called Fever Tree or something.
Fever tree.
Fever Tree. Okay, you ready?
Sure. Ginger beer.
They look like, I do that all day. They look like trespass, but they aren't. They're yoga pants.
Come see Andy's Sydney production of The Miracle Worker.
They look like. And then you start to say, hey, if I had skill, I probably get to be better at this impressions game. So I got back Monday, which was Sunday.
Sunday, right?
And I went to an Emmys party. As you know,
night. Yes,
it's Tuesday now.
Yeah, you called me up. He goes, hey, I got fancy people inviting me places.
Right.
Can I ditch you? And I said, yeah.
Well,
sure.
I didn't quite say it like that. I said, I will do this and you'll do that.
So did you have fun at your post-Emmy party?
Well, it was fun. And I'm okay, conceding that I'm nervous all the time. I never knew I was nervous all the time, but I was like, why do I late for parties? I kind of don't want to go there. But this was okay, and it was very okay because I'm friendly with Colin Jost and Michael Che. First of all, I love the way they do the news. I'm fans of them.
Yeah.
And they invited me.
Very nice.
And that was cool because Colin goes, he walked up and goes, I invited you because I didn't think you'd come. There was something like that. He wanted to see. So he was very nice to me. I saw Scarlett Johansson from a distance.
Yeah.
But I really, and Michael Che was great to me. And I don't know why I'm saying it like that. Why would people be mean to me? But I was really in this mode of, I want to meet these people. I want to meet these people who I admire.
Yeah.
And say, I like your work.
Yeah.
And that's a tough gig. It's a tough gig. But I couldn't admit that wasn't like, I didn't get to say, A.D. Bryan, I love your work, but that's what I wanted to say. But I was able to say to these guys, Tim Robinson and Sam Richardson have a show called Detroiters, which isn't on anymore, but it was on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
I saw it in the plane. It's an amazing show.
Yeah.
So I was able to do that. And then who else did I didn't see A.D. Bryan, but there were a lot of people. There were luminaries there. Luminaries. Lorne Michaels was there. I avoided him.
Right.
And where was the party? It was at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel.
That's very brave of you, by the way, to have that mission to go around praising people at an Emmys party. Mr. State of the Industry.
That is the embarrassing part. The embarrassing part is if I was to say, look, if I meet a couple of people, that's cool. No, I'm actively, as if I was on the Grauman's, as if I was buying an I Love Hollywood t-shirt and a Grauman's Chinese mug, looking around. There he is. There she is. There he is. There she is. There he is. There she is. And Susan was very, very helpful with me.
Yeah.
Restraining me. Because I wasn't going to do... I'm capable on my own of being embarrassing, I think.
Right. But I'm sure she has the most subtle don't make a scene Andy gesture.
Yeah, she grabs me by the ball. But I wanted to talk to you about the Emmys.
Yeah.
Should we do it now or later?
We can do it now.
I haven't asked you how you've been. Have you been yet? How are you?
I'm pretty good. I've been pretty busy. I was in Salt Lake City for a few days when you were gone. I was in...
Wait a second. You have never said you're busy, so you must have been busy. Normally you go, I took a shoe out of a closet and put it in the other thing. I sharpened my pencils today. I've never heard you go, busy, busy, busy. Now you were in Salt Lake opening up for...
Tom Segura.
Right. And how'd that go?
It was great. Wise Guys is a really good club. I will go back there to headline at some point.
Do they have alcohol now, or they still have to buy it from somewhere else?
No, there's alcohol. I think the only difference now is that they only pour 1 ounce shots.
Oh, okay. I'm not making sense.
So the drinks are small.
The drinks are small, and the portion's so small.
Right.
Is that the way that joke goes?
In Salt Lake City, that's how it goes.
The drinks are so small.
When you take the Jew out of it.
And did you get to see our great friend Gruber?
I did. I spent a great deal of time with Gruber, and in fact, I even went with Gruber to sing for elderly people at a nursing home.
Are you kidding me?
Which he does twice a week.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, it was fun.
I mean, it's not unbelievable. It's the type of thing that
It's very Gruberish.
Yeah, it's very Gruberish.
It was less me-ish.
Now, was that hard for you, or was it easy? Because you were
No, it was easy. It was fun.
Did you make fun of the older people? Hey, what are you in for? Like one of those things?
Of course. I went around the room and rickled every one of them.
Did you say, hey, what's with the tubes? Are you having trouble breathing? Yes, I am.
But they're Gruber's gang, so they were,
How old would you say these people are?
I would say this group, it was all, late 70s and up.
So he goes to the same place?
Yeah, it's the same place his mother was in for the last couple of years of her life. So.
And, but are they happy to see him, or do they start heckling and go, do something new, Gruber?
It's both. It's good-natured,
The good-natured ribbon?
Yeah, and he ribs back, and he's got a gang there. It's fun.
That's great.
And you can tell that he kind of lights up the little nursing home as he enters.
Well, he shouldn't bring
Big man on campus.
He shouldn't bring his own lights into it.
Hi, oh.
Oh, Andy, you're so close. Is this Adam Sandler? It is kind of, right?
I guess it was, yeah. I mean, I hope it was.
So, did you visit anybody else in Salt Lake? What'd you go up there for? Oh, that's the thing. But you had 2 shows, 2 nights?
6 shows, 3 nights.
Now, that's not what he normally needs to do, a Tom Segura, right?
What do you mean?
Well, that's an Andy Kindler, Thursday through Saturday, see if you can sell out a second show. I thought he goes in there, ba-bing!
Well, I think they sold out. I think he was doing 2 nights, and they added a night with 2 shows.
Oh, I see. Adding shows because you can't fit people in.
Yeah.
I've heard about
Thursday
that.
night late show.
And how did your shows go?
They went really well. I mean, it took my chops improved as the weekend went on, but it was fun. It was. He asked me if I wanted an opening act, and I said I don't really give a shit. So he's like, "Cool." So it was just me and him.
Yeah, I think that's kind of better sometimes.
And
right?
yeah, it was fine, because the people are all there to see him, so there isn't that much settling in to do.
Right.
So it takes a minute, and it's just like it's just like there was an opener. So.
And any Thought Spiral fans? Who say in the business? I'm sorry for saying fans. I really do hate the word. Thought Spiral listeners.
Yeah. No, there weren't.
Well, because they would have to come to.
There were some Mystery Science fans, but yeah, they didn't.
Right.
Know, they didn't know I was coming.
Well, I got people coming people came up who were Thought Spiral fans.
I know.
And did you know Emma M?
Yes, I know her from Twitter. I haven't met her.
Oh,
I haven't had the pleasure.
So great. It was so great. She was great. Her friend was great. I had a great time hanging out with them, and then it's very exciting that some people know us through Thought Spiral.
Yes. Well, she knows me through MST. She's
don't screw up the story,
She's jumped
Josh.
on board.
Jesus
the whole
Christ,
thought.
the woman had never...
I'm just saying, I brought her to the table, not you.
I don't know if you did. Just make it up. Jesus. For the sake of the podcast. My mouth... I never get the ginger... Don't bring the ginger beer for the trip.
Would you like some water?
No, because I won't be able to complain every 15 seconds. No, it's good. So I wanted to ask you... All right, here's the thing. I like those. I don't even necessarily have to talk about that. I love those two. And the thing I like about them is that there's you didn't have to worry that Michael Che and Colin Jost were going to come out and do a dance number.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They sent other people out to do it.
Right. And the opening dance number I thought was pretty funny, which was about we have one of each person, or we've solved racism.
Right.
What? You don't have to do signals with me. They didn't, first of all,
no, I was just making a disagree face.
No, please do.
I thought to come out with irony to open the show, particularly
it was a tough sell.
It was a tough sell, and it was also completely counter to the tone they were trying to set for the rest of the show, which was we did do it.
Right, and plus it was so fast into the song. I thought that first of all, I'm glad I'm not doing any musical numbers because it looks awfully hard.
Yeah, it didn't set the right tone as far as I'm concerned.
I can see that. And then, but who would know that the marvelous Mrs. Maisel, I just started to think, I mean, I don't want this to be that people can come see me and they go, oh, tell us how you hate that show. But I literally can't believe that show is enjoyed by people.
Yeah.
And so now I'm asking you, Josh, now that it cleaned up at the Emmys.
Yeah.
Is it second chance time?
That's up to you.
Have you?
I have not watched it yet, no.
Even the first one?
No, I have not watched it yet. But Amy Sherman last night was she's like a girl who escaped from a Neil Simon play and grew up. But no, people like the show.
Oh no, you sound like Frank Conniff's old bit. People, he used to like, it's a good show. People like it.
I haven't watched it yet, so I know.
Okay.
I have a feeling I know what would bother me about it if I did watch it.
Even the scene they have with Kevin Park. Hey, look, Schmoopy, don't schmoy me with the schming-mang. This is a sketch about vaudeville. Who can watch a sketch about vaudeville as a show? Hey, sister, Mr. Kister, sister. I know that the ladies out there. No, I'm kidding. But I think people go, well, it's not about. I don't know what the show's about, really.
You know what?
Shut up.
You're playing a slimy agent, and I'm dying up here. So
That's a bad. Well, you can't insult me with work I took on a show.
I'm just saying.
I didn't write that show.
It's true.
Yeah, so now you apologize?
You're not like Jen Kirkman on Mrs. Maisel.
Wait, I didn't realize she wrote for Mrs. Maisel.
Yes.
Now, I hope I don't get her mad now.
No.
Jen, I don't think Jen cares what I think.
No, she told me, in fact, specifically not to tell you so you wouldn't edit yourself, but I just wanted to.
Oh, yeah. I just noticed that on her thing.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is this. I can tell you right now how inarguably you could say that show, just by the way it's constructed,
Yeah.
someone like me is going to have a problem with, because it should be Amy Sherman it's written about Amy Sherman Palladino, and then or that kind of comedian, and they wrote it, and they have an actor playing it.
Yeah.
And it's not working.
If I watched it, I bet I would agree with you.
All right, so that was that. And then also, the other thing I thought was weird about the show, and I don't know if it's the first year they did this, where they said, now we're going to begin with the limited run awards. The limited
Series.
series awards.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear the word limited series over and over and over again. And I didn't know that they had that many awards for special, and then they don't seem to even be the right awards. It's like everybody's in there for every award. You know, like the late night variety thing.
Yeah.
Is it going to start being? Let me ask you a question. Is it going to start being that the last week tonight, which I can't watch? I know it's good. I can't watch it. I can't watch him. I'm sorry. I'm getting back to be the old Andy now.
You are.
I don't enjoy. I don't. To me, it's like, are they going to win every year now? Like the Daily Show won Best Writing every year. Is that what's going to happen? Please warn me now. Do you like that show?
Yeah.
You like Last Week Tonight?
Yeah. I do. It's 10 o'clock on Sunday, so it's not exactly like a big powerhouse.
Aren't you
competition.
tired of that format of a guy yelling and screaming about on and on? Don't turn it on me. Is that what you're going to do?
Sure.
Well, how come? Why can't I read your face now?
As you're yelling and screaming in my face, you're asking me if I'm tired of the yelling and screaming format?
Well, no. Look, is this the attitude you're going to bring to our next State of the Industry? Where you're going to go, what are we, just complaining about things? Yes, that's what I do. I complain about things. That's my.
Except when I'm with the people, then I go, "Oh, you're so good. Yes, you are."
I like Colin, and look, I have very few people I like, so I don't want to start to. I have enjoyed Saturday Night Live for about the last 3 or 4 years, isolated stuff. I mean, I'll never like Lorne Michaels because he's evil. But the show with Kate McKinnon, they've got great people on the show.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. I forgot who.
Deep bench. Deep bench.
Stop. You don't have to mock me just because you hate me.
You don't have to mock me.
I said don't mock me.
I said don't mock me.
Okay, so you go work. Something about John Oliver that bothers me, and I think it's my own thing. But there's something I see, the way he told off Dustin Hoffman, like in that thing.
Yeah.
It's just like, I just can't explain it. It's like, I'm going to now ruin the entire, it's like this thing that happened with Dustin Hoffman. And I'm not saying it doesn't matter how many years ago it was, but who knows what the hell happened with Dustin Hoffman and this woman or whatever the hell it was. But he's going to come in on this. Why are you shaking your head?
Nothing. I don't want to talk about it.
Tell me. Why are you shaking your head? Did you see the way I'm talking about?
Yes.
He dressed down. I think it's bullshit to me. It's bullshit to make him look like he's the greatest person in the world. Right? Okay. You can say I'm wrong, but you can say something. You don't have to just say you don't want to talk about it.
I'm composing my thoughts.
Okay.
I'm trying to not get into old Jew sex offender territory.
Look, that's not the point. The point is, I don't know what Dustin Hoffman did with that woman. Neither does this idiot. Okay? He doesn't specifically know what the case was, but he goes into a panel discussion and he's loaded for bear. Don't you think you should know what happened and eventually what did happen? It had just come out in the news about it. And it's like, okay, great. You trapped Dustin Hoffman. Nice job. Great. It's like when they went to, Michael Moore went to, who was it? The gun guy? Charlton Heston's house.
Yeah.
And made him look silly.
Right.
What's the point of it? You're just going to all go, yeah, Dustin Hoffman stinks. You don't see anything to what I'm saying? Because I think I'm making a solid point.
Well, I mean, I think it's you're so pick and choose about who gets run up the flagpole and who doesn't that I don't know
Do
where
you
you're
really
coming from.
think I'm not? Don't take me the way I'm sounding. But do you really think that that I can't come up? I can't make the argument that I thought that was shitty that he went after somebody because I go after people.
No, I just
okay.
mean like compared to Woody Allen. It's a flip side of it's.
Why do you compare it? I don't know why you compare it to Woody Allen. It's not Woody Allen. I'm talking about Dustin Hoffman. I don't know what happened with him. You could say, what, Andy, maybe you're worried about your own. I'm just saying, in general, any normal human being would be somewhat concerned that all of a sudden you don't want everybody to go to be, you don't want people who didn't do something to somebody have their careers ruined. And then there's a lot of gray areas. I'm just saying he knew that was going to score points, and that makes it bullshit because that's like he's the hero of late night.
Well, I mean, I honestly think that there's an argument for both sides. I think there's certainly an argument for not fucking bringing it up in a public, in that sort of typically celebratory interview, because that's basically what it was.
And also, he did think, why would she? If I was to say, I'll give you a perfect example. If I was to say to you, why would this clinical professor bring up this thing about Kavanaugh all these years later? You really can't come up with that. Maybe there's a reason why she's doing it.
But here's the thing. I mean, here's the thing. The culture change, and we talk about the pendulum swinging too much or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if we do we?
Well, I just mean we as a cult. We in general talk about that happening, and there's a lot of complaints about the Me Too, being too big a swing.
I haven't specifically said that.
But let me finish my point.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for interrupting.
At some point, there has to be instances of men speaking up to men, and it has to be public in some way.
Why?
Because that's part of the culture change.
Well, speak up to someone who went to trial. Whoever went to trial, speak up about how Harvey Weinstein. Don't say, okay, has anyone taken down Dustin Hoffman yet? I'm going to do it in this thing.
Well, I don't know the full. I didn't see the thing.
Have I ever seen the full context?
Right, but I don't know how deep he attacked him. I think Dustin Hoffman got super pissed off just that he brought it up.
I saw it.
That's what I'm saying. Is I didn't see the whole exchange.
Wait, did you see did they have the exchange, or did we just read a?
I don't know. I
think I saw it. I think I saw it because I remember Dustin Hoffman's face. The whole thing was embarrassing because anything you start to say with, this was a lot of years ago. Anything he could say in that moment makes him look bad. But the other side of it is he got sandbagged by a guy who was trying to make a name for himself. That's all I saw in that moment. Maybe I'm wrong, and I could be wrong, and I am wrong, and I often will.
Well, I don't think he was trying to make a name for himself. I think he came to it thinking he already had a name, and that was part of his name.
Yeah, and I think it's full of shit that he's the. I hated it when Jon Stewart did it. I don't like it when he does it. Hey, who's gonna be your guy? Who's gonna fight against the? And it was bullshit when Jon Stewart did it because he didn't want his show to be unionized for Writers Guild. But meanwhile, he's all about the working man. I mean, it's like you make a mistake when you set yourself up as a hero, and I think that's what he did in that case. Of that, and that's what Jon Stewart used to do, I think, too, a lot. He used to make it seem like I'm a genius.
Grandstanding.
Yes. Why can't I make it that simple? Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I see both sides where it's like, okay, if you're a grandstanding, quote-unquote, truth-telling guy, then fucking go for it,
True.
So I sort of admire the consistency on that level. But, yeah, it goes beyond the bounds of class sometimes.
I don't even necessarily think. I mean, someone could write into our show and go, "This, Dustin Hoffman hung this woman out of a window." Whatever the thing is, I don't know enough about the thing. I just reacted to it like for example, I'll give you one example that I was just going to say before. But here's the example I think.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go. Give your example.
Okay, the example is he says, "What would this woman have to gain by coming forward? What would she have to gain?" That's what he said to Dustin Hoffman. let me tell you something. People sometimes lie just because they want to lie. It doesn't mean in every single case you could just say, what does she stand to gain? If you look at the Kavanaugh situation, you could logically say, why would a woman do this? She told her therapist about it. But what does she stand to gain? She stands to gain nothing by it. What did this woman stand to gain? What if it's not a matter of stand to gain? What if it was a matter of they saw it two different ways, or maybe Dustin Hoffman was a pig? I mean, whatever it was, why does he arguing? What does she have to gain? That's a bad argument that he's making, and that to me means he's like putting the other guy on trial, kind of. Very proud of myself. One of my best arguments.
Well, let me then go back and sort it out.
You can't do that. Is that what's going to happen? You go out and you edit, and then I come out like, I don't believe in Me Too.
I didn't mean go back on tape. I mean go back in my head to what you just said.
Me Too's wrong. Boom. I can tell what you're doing. Anyway, it's ridiculous that I'm arguing about this because we both didn't see much of it. You know, the thing is, I really don't like that guy, and I think it has to do with my own jealousy. Everything has to do with my own jealousy, but it's not really jealous. I don't want to have what he has, but I do get angry when someone is celebrated as... It just seems like he's yelling a lot to me. It just seems like he's yelling a lot, and it's the kind of comedy I don't like.
Yeah, but he's yelling with data to back it up. You know,
yeah. He did a great job with the guy who went to Russia, Snowden. That I really thought he did a great job.
Yeah,
but let's not make. Am I getting too loud?
You're just shaking. Violently
Stop
shaking
moving.
the table.
I think I could actually not move if I just did like this. Lock it in.
Yeah.
Am I still going?
Sure.
Good. So, what else in the news?
What else? Alonzo Bowden says hi.
And where'd you see Alonzo?
I saw him on the other podcast today.
Oh.
Edge-show.com.
You don't have to squeeze it in there. You could take a time out of this podcast and talk about it even if you wanted to. Like, how do you get it? Where do you download it from? And I like Alonzo.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I'd never met him before today, but I liked him a lot.
I think he has a deep voice.
He does. It was a very deep podcast with him and Mark Thompson and me.
Any music? I don't have anything. I didn't bring anything musically today.
Well, I'll go to the bank.
And is next week the show that's going to be? Are we actually live? I mean, is this the actual day that we're supposed to be on? Are we on next month? Is this on next?
Well, first
Monday?
of all, this isn't the day we're supposed to be on. This is a non-kosher show because it's Yom Kippur right now, and we shouldn't be doing this.
This is how how unaware I am of Judaism.
Yeah,
I saw in this area, your very area. I don't know what sect of Judaism do you dress all white with white yarmulkes. I've never seen it before.
Yeah, and you don't wear any leather either.
Why you should know more? Maybe you should know more about Judaism. Why would you know more about Judaism?
Well, because I went to fucking Hebrew school and Saturday school and Sunday school.
I didn't learn anything in the Sunday schools and the Saturday. You didn't go to Kavuza or whatever they call it, right? Mishpacha.
They don't call it Kavuza. I know that.
What do they call it when you go to really study it? The Sanhedrin? No, when you really study it, what do they call that? Kol Nidre?
Kol Nidre is what we should be at tonight.
Well, but what's the name of those?
Yeshiva?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. But
right.
But I got trained. I got trained. I have plenty of knowledge that I reject.
What are we celebrating tonight specifically?
Kol Nidre is the beginning of the Yom Kippur service.
And this is where you say you admit your own wrongdoing?
As sung by Neil Diamond in The Jazz Singer.
How was that version of The Jazz Singer?
How was it? It's of the I call Nidre.
Have you seen the original Jazz Singer?
Thank you for teeing that up for me like that.
What's that?
Thank you for teeing that up. So.
What?
Nidre!
Does he yell like that? Does he turn it into a Neil Simon song? I mean, not Neil Simon. I mixed up that you said Neil Simon before. You mentioned Neil Simon before.
It was a Neil Diamond joke I was doing.
Yeah, that I knew.
Okay.
But did he come out with a Yom Kippur album? I bet he did.
It was in The Jazz Singer. He actually did do Kol Nidre.
I did get that.
Yeah.
But did he scream, Kol Nidre?
No, of course not.
Why not?
That was my comic spin.
The original jazz singer, which I guess there was a silent one first.
Oh, there was Jolson?
Ah. Ah. Hey, Ma. It's Yom Kippur, see?
I'll walk 1,000,000 miles for one of your kugels.
That was the original one with
Yes.
Danny Thomas.
The second one was Danny Thomas.
The second one was Danny Thomas. So
Yes.
I have all this cultural things
Right.
mixed up in my head.
And then the third and biggest mess of the three was Neil Diamond, with his father being played by Laurence Olivier, his girlfriend being played by Lucy Arnaz, and the cherry on top was Franklin Ajayi as the sidekick friend.
I can't even believe it. You could have
There
made
was
that up.
4 different movies being acted in that movie.
And Neil Diamond, he played the role of the jazz singer?
The cantor turned pop singer, yes.
How was his acting in general, would you say?
Well, Andy, it's a little wooden. A little wooden.
Did they have Sweet Caroline in that movie too?
I don't think it was.
No.
But
Did you see the whole thing?
I think Love on the Rocks ain't no big surprise. Pour me a drink, and I'll tell you some lies.
You know, it's almost like a lounge singer.
Nidre!
He's like a lounge.
I think that song was in it.
Yeah. Cole Nidre!
On a boat and on a plane, they're coming to the synagogue. Nidre!
Crackling Sophie, she has some Google now. Boom, boom.
I just did a whole run of Jew Neil Diamond songs in a text thread that I'd be plagiarizing from if I went further.
It never fails to, like when I was in the comedy duo, we did a bit that always cracked me up. It was Jaime Morristein, and he was said to be the Hebrew version of Jim Morrison. But I was denying it's Jaime Morristein that I was, but we did it all.
Mother, I want to kill you?
And we did songs like Come On Bubble Light My Menorah.
Wow.
Try to set the sukkahs on challah.
So First Thought Theater all the way through.
Will you stop saying that genius things that people do? What do you want? What was your Abbott and Costello routine that went further?
I'm not going to do the menorah joke.
No.
I'm not going to do the menorah joke.
I tried to tell Susan this bit I saw in Abbott and Costello, which was so delightful, but no, it's such a... The bit was he goes and he says, I want a birthday cake.
I don't want a birthday
Have I told this before?
No.
Oh,
I'm
he
just
goes,
acting.
Please. Okay, so the guy brings him the birthday cake. And then he goes, could I have a little more of this here, a little bust? And this goes on.
And the flower on top.
And so the guy finally goes, it's beautiful. He goes, it's beautiful when he finally comes out.
It's beautiful.
And then the guy says, you want to wrap it up? And he goes, no, I'll eat it here. And the guy gets so angry because he spent all these hours.
Right.
I'll
That's a good
eat
gag.
it here.
That's a good gag.
It's not a bad gag.
It's subtle, but good.
They really played out to the hill, too. Of course I'll put that on there for you. Can I have a little bit of a... I can't believe I can't do Costello.
I can't really either. I'm just doing a character.
I'm a bad boy.
Yeah, it's as good as mine, really.
You know what they have over there in England that you wish you didn't have? They have, like, the American shows that they like. I mean, I can't go by this cable system, but, like, a lot of American Dad. A lot of Family Guy.
Yeah, a lot of Fox stuff because of the
I feel
Murdochs
bad that that's what people
on the
think
Sky.
Sky, that's right.
Right.
That's what they think of us. Because that show does not hold up as you're watching it. Family Guy.
When Allison and I were in London, we watched Die Hard one night in our hotel, and Allison had never seen it, and she was all...
wow.
She became an instant a
a great movie.
Die Hard fan, if you will.
And you had, right, in the
I
theater.
had seen it many times, yeah.
Right. Now, how'd that connect to England, though? You didn't bring an England...
Just because it was a Fox movie on Sky. That's what made me think of it, and it made Allison homesick.
I'm telling
Which
you
is weird because she was born in England. It's weird, I'm telling you. Weird.
My cat...
Something's gonna foul inside a tomato. It looks like it's not even finished yet. It looks like it's still in the larval stage.
Is that George Carlin?
Thank you. Yes, it is.
What? Oh, the only thing I can do is Rick Moranis doing.
Yeah.
They have... What? I got knocked out when I came to. Was I knocked in?
Was I knocked in?
You told me, or someone told me on a previous podcast, I said that actually depressed him. George Carlin was how good that bit was about him.
Yeah, it's like what's his face's impression of you.
I like that though. I like the end. I like the end of me.
Yes.
Ooh, we're coming to America.
So yeah, I got. I am now TSA pre. I'm very excited about that.
Now, why wouldn't you? Oh, because you don't go out of the country much. Because I was going to go with like
the global pass.
It's one of those things.
Yeah, global entry.
Yeah, which on my wedding night was something my wife requested. She said, "Could we go for a global entry?"
Ha 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 ha.
How long did it take you to do it?
It was very fast.
Did they ask you if you smoke pot? That's what I'm worried about.
They do not.
That's my big fear.
Yeah.
What if they asked you? What did you say?
They don't ask you. It's an online application.
Oh, you don't have to have an interview?
No, you don't have an interview, but you have to go in and get your fingers printed at a service center, which is in Glendale.
Is that what it's called? Is that your extent of knowledge of detective movies? You get your fingerprints printed.
I got him good that time.
Wow.
I don't get my fingers printed. I refuse because of the problems I had back in Toledo.
Really? Do elaborate.
No, I don't.
See, I burned you with it. Yeah.
You caught me not being funny. You caught me not being able to back up a premise. How did you do it? And so, how long did the process take from storm to storm?
I did it online. They said pick a service center. I picked Glendale. They said make an appointment. I made an appointment for the next morning.
Holy!
I went to Glendale. I did the fingerprints. It was, I think, 2 days before the answer came back. Yes.
It's so great. How much did it cost you?
I think $85.
For how long? 5 years?
5 years.
There's no excuse for why I haven't.
The
done
shoes
this.
and belt stays on now, baby. I'm going to get some complicated shoes to travel with from now on.
Wow. I mean, you really are taking full advantage of the system. But pre-TSA will
I'm keeping my liquids in my bag with my laptop.
If you know what I'm talking
on.
about.
Yeah.
That's true. All of that is really convenient.
It is. It's like flying in 2000.
Yeah. Before the world changed.
Yes.
Well, what made you go? Because
It's
always
traveling with Segura because he has it, and it's like then I always feel like the loser, you know.
Oh, you have to go to some different line?
I just have to go to the first class line, and he goes sailing through TSA.
Well, if he was a big shot, he would have clear.
Yeah, I think he's going that way. I think he's a low friction lover.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I wish that'd be the first thing I would do if I had friction, money, clear. It's expensive, right?
I don't think it's that expensive.
Oh, it was like.
And at this point,
$5,000.
all it does is like keep you from one checkpoint, you know.
It doesn't really help that much. That's why I avoid it.
But I was very impressed with myself. It's not usually the kind of thing I follow through with, but I did, and now I'm happy.
I love I love everything about London. I'll tell you that it's a truly cosmopolitan city.
Yeah.
And except on Friday nights, Saturday nights, when you think you're gonna get killed from the drinkers,
Right.
it's just amazing to see all people of different types, like really international, not just like that guy. You know, like in New York, what New York should be, London
Right.
is a melting pot in the city.
Right.
So.
And they are shit-faced.
It was very dangerous. That made me so dangerous. It was very dangerous.
Thank God you didn't have a soccer ball.
What? Because I threw it at somebody, or
The hooligans.
The hooligans?
The hooligans. Did you do any touristy things?
we did the touristy things. We did was just shopping, because right in we were in Covent Garden, which is literally come out of the apartment. There's millions of things. It's so incredible. It's like their Manhattan. It's like if everything that was great about Manhattan was all in one area. Because there's parts of Manhattan that are boring to me.
Right.
You know, like I don't like 42nd Street that much. Broadway that much, but this was like everything was charming, and then the next street is thrilling, and then you're going down a small corridor. They have those corridor roads.
Right.
I love it.
Good.
So
So you went to Harrods?
No, we did that before. We went to Selfridges,
Okay.
Debenhams, and John Lewis. I bought pants.
Did you?
You know what kind of pants I bought?
Dress pants.
Well, they look like dress pants,
Really? What all the though?
but they aren't.
They're yoga pants.
You have
They're tiny yoga pants.
and I'm working probably 3 hours a day on. They look like.
Right. Tiny yoga pants. Should we take a break?
I think so.
All right.
Oh, are you bringing in something?
I'm bringing in a little song, I think.
I have to get back to the grindstone.
People liked the Super Bowl 7 song this week.
It's a beautiful song.
You don't have any memory of it.
I know I do because. Okay, now maybe I'm confusing. One has the number HO.
You mean Ocho?
Ocho.
Yeah.
Was that it?
HO is a gauge for small trains.
I knew that.
Let's do an Allison song.
Cool.
I like this one because of my work on it. No. Allison wrote the song, but I'm especially proud of the background vocals that Gruber and I did that gets sillier and sillier as it goes. It's called I Was a Fool.
I'm ready.
I was a fool to fall in love, a fool to fall for you, and somewhere in my heart, I suppose I knew you never needed anyone to tell you what to do. But now time has come to admit I was a fool. Why did I
What were the words you were saying? You said you were singing the.
She was, I was a fool. She's really dumb. Not the brightest bulb. No, really, she's slow.
Oh, see, I didn't catch
We're
that.
talking dim.
Oh, I wish I could hear that more, so I could appreciate the. It's hard.
The
song.
people at home will hopefully be able to pick it out.
Now, I want to tell you that I love that song, and it reminded me a little of Roy Orbison.
Good.
Yeah, it was great. And she sings great. I don't know what that style is. It's her own style. But it's kind of like has a 50s feel to the...
Well, that was a 50s feel song.
Right. And I love the harmonies in that. And I really love... It reminds me of Beach Boy harmonies, which, of course, I mean, you're not aping them. But...
we were going back further to what we were aping doo-wop kind of stuff.
Right. And who is doing the high falsetto?
Me.
Ah.
Damn, we didn't call you.
Oh, well, look, I just started doing that. And those groups were Frankie Valli would be one of those groups that had harmonies
There's a
like
little
that.
Frankie Valli I was doing in there, yeah.
And then there's another guy who I can't think of his name.
I was just sitting here chuckling, going, this isn't going to be a good conversation.
I guess the thing I want to say was like I'm listening to so much of that music that I never had listened to before because I only had listened to oldies in context of oldies. And now I listen to 1260 all the time, so I hear those songs. Like there's one that I thought was a little richer. But
So you think of them as nowies.
Well, I am fascinated by that time period because I don't know when 1625 got big, but that all the songs had the same changes.
What's 1625?
1625 is C, A minor, F, G.
Oh, I see what you're...
1, 6, something like that. The fourth is like the F C chord,
Yeah.
and the fifth is like a
G.
right. So 1, 6. And what were the two? I don't know. It's not 2, 5. I think I got it wrong. But all those songs had that same. Ba 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 bum bum ba 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 ba. They didn't all have it.
Right.
But you don't hear that progression.
Boom, boo, boom, boo, boom, boo, boom.
Ba ba da boom.
Right.
I vote yes on that song.
Excellent.
Thank you.
It's in.
Oh, you were going to wait till I 3.5 stars,
There we go. And
like the
it's
person who
like
Chortle. It's a
like
callback.
a Jew comic in London. A Jew comic in London.
Ooh. People are delighted by the singing. That I've been told.
Yeah. Been told off. Dana Schwartz starts us off this week with a haiku haiku.
Haiku.
Here it is. Humid summertime, a sweet little candy chew because of the walk. There you go.
I like that.
It's a haiku haiku.
And now
vice versa.
is that we talk about my needing to eat those. They have so many more chewies over there.
Yeah.
They have like fruit. It says fruit squirts and refreshers.
Do they call them something funny? Like tooth wrappers or something like that?
No, but I am fascinated. They call dish detergent washing up liquid.
Washing up liquid.
Washing up liquid. Go get Weinstein.
It looks like soap, but it's not. It's washing up liquid. Perush says...
Perush Hagoffen. Beret Peri Hagoffen. Beret Perush Hagoffen.
Right.
Run that by Perush and see if he wants to be part of a Jewish prayer.
I will. I think the Australian guy doing commercials is the new hee-haw, judging by how much Andy was cackling during Josh's impression. Also, Andy mentioned Piers Morgan hit by a cricket pitcher. He's Australian too. Brett Lee. What's
that mean? Oh, the guy who was hitting him?
I think, yeah.
Yeah. It's so good to see. He just gets hurt, and then Piers Morgan tries to act like everything's cool.
Leah Beale wants to know any thoughts on the allegedly marvelous Mrs. Maisel winning big at the Emmys.
I think we
talked
covered it,
about
right?
Yeah. I can't bring myself to watch it, and not just because I don't have Amazon Prime.
Well, I'm still into
You're poisoning people, Andy.
No, this is like I think it's an unpopular position to have because, well, first of all, the thing of the Emmys is weird now. I mean, no one has seen these shows, kind of.
The Emmy sucks. It's always
Yeah,
sucked.
it's always
I
been
watched
bad.
the first 10 minutes of it, and then I watched clips of things.
I went to a party. Did you hear that?
I did.
And they said, Andy Kindler? I thought he was dead.
It was a perfect example of showbiz feelings I had about that, which was, wish I was invited, glad I didn't have to go. Greg Kelly says, I think, in apropos of it being Test Show 72, what were you doing in 1972?
What were you doing? Were
I
you
was
born?
crawling.
You know, you don't have to make it sound more insulting towards me that I'm moving towards death. I was crawling. You were not crawling. You were 12 to 14 years old then.
Yeah, and I sounded a little like this.
I liked 1972. Well, I was in high school. I liked it.
Oh, sorry. Old man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were.
And that would be when I started to enjoy myself as a person soon after that. When I was
You've enjoyed yourself for the last 46 years?
Where are you going with that? That I'm a crank?
I just don't see that.
You don't see any joy in me?
I don't see that you've enjoyed yourself since 1972, no.
No. That's the first time I started to ever enjoy. That's what I should have said.
All right.
When I started to enjoy anything. Because I hated junior high school because they picked on me. But then by the time I was sophomore, it was okay. The next year, 73, I was a junior. I guess 74 was like a year I felt the big man on campus because I was more socially involved in things.
Yeah.
But 72, I felt was really cool because of the hippies. It was still the hippies.
Right.
And
1910 Fruit Gum Company was on the air.
every mother's son, come on down to my boat, baby. Well, I certainly will if you bring the drinks. I swear, if there was a living I could make as a 60s DJ.
Well,
Jerry Mungo.
that's the only kind of DJ you could be at this point.
Here's Mungo. Here's Paul Revere of the Raiders. I'll tell you, I like this group. Wouldn't want them to warn me about the British, literally.
Shout out to the Cherokee people.
Cherokee people. Hey, half-breed. I don't want to say... Look, I have a story about that. I shouldn't tell it on the air.
Come see me down at... come say hi, and I'll tell you the rest. Seth Dick III says...
Hi, Seth Dick.
Says, my sources say Foster Brooks was once on the short list for the Supreme Court. I wonder what that was like. Well, it was very rough. I failed the in-depth investigation of my personal life.
What was the first word you were trying to say?
Background check.
I thought you were going to say, I never passed the place where they serve drinks. I don't really know how his bit works. I've decided.
Amelia Fox says, when are you two going to write and record a song together?
I would like to do that.
I like to think every time we record, we're making sweet music together.
Why do you have to put a sexual tinge to everything?
Yoshi Yamamoto. Hey, Yamamoto. Andy, the Assyrian Empire ended 2,600 years ago. Susan has to let it go. Reference from Tess Bank's show episode where Andy said she was Assyrian. P.S. Andy was on a nice run of plugging Thought Spiral, but he forgot last Friday on the Majority Report.
Oh. Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, there's no
I trust Yoshi Yamamoto.
No excuse for it. I did see something that made me very excited. I saw a origami. Were you going to say something?
No.
Origami thing on Nova. And I never liked origami that much. All of a sudden, origami is part of the universe and all this kind of thing. And they started to show the 6-foot-long DNA spirals. They started to show the spirals. And then I said, thought spirals, DNA. We are the DNA of podcasts or something. But I just want to bring it up that everyone's talking about thought spiral, even in this origami special.
Orgasmic of you.
Oh, I went blue and you went further. Incoming.
Mark Thompson, Josh, after this long, is there anything you still miss about the Midwest, Twin Cities? Yeah, there's plenty I miss about it. Although I've now lived in LA longer than I lived in Minnesota. But I miss. There's certainly weathers.
What?
There's crisp fall days I miss.
Well, you were as inarticulate as me for a second. How does that feel?
There's thunderstorms. I miss thunderstorms.
Okay, that's true. You miss the cliche, which is a true cliche, is the missing the seasons.
Who the fuck are you to call what I feel a cliche?
Sorry, I apologize. I do like 4 seasons, though, but then I haven't lived.
I don't care
in it.
about 4. But there's a couple that I miss.
You are unbelievable.
Don't miss
Did you
the humidity
take
of
some
summer.
fucking pill?
Don't miss the bitterness of winter. But I do miss fall.
Are you like? Do you order from Devil's Advocate vitamins, and then you get those? Is there anything I could say that you could just say, Andy? I respect you.
Let me just.
I can't keep up with
here.
the
Let me go to my Devil's Advocate vitamins account here.
Yeah,
and get you some comedy supplements.
Yeah. You people at home couldn't see it, but
I went full mime for that.
Josh had a delicious little wicked grin.
I knew where I was going. The rest of you had to wait for the treat.
Can we start adding to every show or every 3 or 4 minutes? Wait for it. Wait for it. What's the alternative to waiting for it? It's my new angry guy.
Yeah.
Anything?
You got more?
Wait for it. You know what? I will never be in a comedy duo with you because you leave me hanging.
Clearly, we will never be a comedy duo.
You leave me hanging.
We've got 100 hours of track record saying we will never be a comedy duo.
I opened the door where you could hop onto a sizzling comedy train, and you shut it down, baby.
Nidre! You opened the door for that.
Cole Nidre!
Also, the people in Minneapolis. That's the other thing I miss. I miss the whole say hello. They say hello back. That whole thing.
That's good. That's true.
I do miss that.
It's an amazing city. There's no city like Minneapolis, but that doesn't mean I would move there. But I wouldn't move anywhere from where I am right now. Which is, I'm not even just talking the Valley. I'm staying in the Valley, man, 24/7. I couldn't get out of those statements, Josh. I wanted to stop talking. You have to give me points for whining this. Points.
A.D. Morgan says, get your Australian voiceover guy to do this ad. Let me see. All right, I see where he's going here. The text is, what's the brand for timeless style in men's clothing? Howard I know. So.
Is there a joke already that I missed?
No.
Okay.
I'm setting so it's, what's the brand for timeless style in men's clothing? How would I know? See what he did?
So he's doing like a roast of the Australian guy.
How would I know?
Am I missing is that a pun that I'm missing?
Yes.
What is it?
How would I know?
Howard. Would I?
Jesus Christ, Andy, you're a professional comedian.
And what's the joke? What is it? How would I? How would I know?
Yes.
Give me the setup again.
What's the brand for timeless style in men's clothing? How would I know?
It's just saying he wouldn't know.
Right.
Oh,
it's also saying Howard I know.
But you're gaslighting
when you
me now.
say when
you're
you
gaslighting me, right?
No.
What does Howard mean? Is Howard part of the bit?
Yes, because when you say it with an Australian accent,
how would I know?
Exactly.
I feel like I'm on a bad trip, but I'm not high enough.
I didn't say it was like a fucking great joke.
Anything but. Anything but might be the
But
thing.
I don't understand being stumped by it either.
Look, I marched to my own drummer, who obviously doesn't have information or references.
It's the end of the world as we know it. Wants to know what's the highlight and the low light of Andy's visit to London.
I think the low light was focusing on other people's people germs, which you introduced to me. And the high point was once you get over the jet lag, loving. I mean, this great food, and I had some of the best. I had this place called Temper. I had the best pizza I think I've ever had in my life, and I'm from New York, and I've been to Chicago, and this pizza was somewhere in the middle of deep dish and thin crust, and it was unbelievable. And that's all I'm going to tell you. And then also socializing was fun.
Aren't most pizzas in the middle between deep dish and thin crust? That's why they don't specify.
No. This is, I must have described it wrong.
I guess.
Because you didn't get it. It's shaped like a Sicilian. It's square.
Okay.
Well, or more like rectangular.
Sure.
It is not, it's not, they look like a deep dish, but they aren't.
The semi-deep dish.
Deep dish is about like that. Thin
Yeah.
crust is all the way here.
Okay.
This was like around there. So it had the same feeling of Chicago, where there was a lot of sauce on it,
Right.
but it wasn't so deep.
But it was crispy all around.
Crispy all around.
Crispy all around.
Crispy all around. Why not?
I had some of the worst fucking pizza ever in my life in London when I was there.
The food has gotten way better in general.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, it's first of all, it's all Italian. So many Italian places. When did you go there?
2002 was my last
It was
foray.
Was it an Italian place?
No, it was a little pizza place, but it was Sunday night and like everything was closed.
Oh, and yeah. See, but that's the image of London, is that it doesn't have good food. But now
Did you get good late night eating? Were you able to find any?
we did, but nothing like. None of the late night places we hit were better than like a great late night place. They were just okay, but there was no place like you got to go to this place after midnight.
All right.
Great. I had a great French restaurant meal.
Yeah.
Susan ordered pork. How do you want it done? They said. This almost scared the life out of me.
Yeah.
She had it medium well or whatever. They are so clean. They have so much better meat in general over there, except for the mad cow. That they have pink in their pork, and I'm not kosher, but that's not kosher.
No, that happens here.
It does?
Yeah. There isn't the fear of trichinosis that there once was.
Why do you always have to do my country one-upness? I think things are fresher over there, like milk and things like that, and then maybe it's a myth. What do you think?
I don't know. I really don't. I can't speak to the British dairy industry.
Why don't you sound more like why don't you sound more like I'm forcing you to do something? Okay. I just thought that they have more like, it's more like New York, like little shops.
Right.
They have a ham shop. It looks like a regular deli, but it's not big.
It's not. It's a ham shop.
It's so good.
Nick Kosei says, Josh, will you ever consider directing Thought Spiral, the test movie? Will I?
You said you didn't want to get people's hopes up, but we are this close to
My round-the-world flight with Andre?
No, I'm never pitching Andre again because you claim nobody knows what it is. So you're right. Big deal. Anybody could use a reference everyone gets.
True enough. Heant says, Heant, who's been checking in during the Carolina hurricane.
Right. Is he in Carolina? Or she?
Yes, one of them. Both one of the Carolinas. Both.
Oh, there's two people? Heant is one account.
Isn't Mark Normand great?
He is good. Great.
I don't know Mark Normand.
He's a funny comic. That's what they wrote in about?
That's what they wrote in about.
What are we? What are we? The encyclopedia? Hey, what do you think you're calling the Encyclopedia Britannica? Is that a good reference?
Not so good. You should go look up a better one.
I went to look up in the dictionary, and they had a picture of me. I looked up self-involved.
It's the gastrointestinal noise that followed that joke that really made it sing for me.
I looked up self-involved, overly self-involved. Picture of me.
Ned Fix and Chill. I'm sorry, Flix and Chill. Ned Flix and Chill. I get it now. Netflix and Chill. Ned.
Oh, that's good. That's a good pun.
Netflix and
Netflix
chill.
and chill.
Yeah.
Now that makes sense. How would I know makes no sex?
How would I know?
How would I know?
He says, has anything that originated in the podcast shown up in either of yours act? Yes.
Which one?
What's his? My Pillow guy was never in my act before the podcast.
I don't remember you doing him though. You do him?
On the show here?
Yeah.
No, I don't recall. Well,
Well-
yeah, a while back I did.
You sure? Yeah. Is his stuff? His stuff? When it gets dirty, you have to dry clean it, right?
No, it's. I'm not going to get. Oh, you're not going to beat me into doing that.
He has the most pathetic TV pitchman voice I've ever heard. Oh, right here in my home.
What you go with your right here in my home state of Minnesota? Is that
Yeah.
what you're going for right
Yeah.
there? My pillow's made right here in my home state of Minnesota. It's 100% machine washable.
How about the topper?
The topper is also 100% machine washable, but you can't top my topper.
He says that?
No.
Oh, but he should. You could write for him in a second.
I could write for him in a heartbeat. His last one.
What happened to us? We were so hot before I left the country.
That's true. It was you broke our sweet, sweet rhythm.
And I'm not just talking about sexually.
Here's a question about Minnesotans from Jim Meehan, which I will read in the style of My Pillow Guy. I saw Minnesotans are so nice they wave to strangers video. Do they have a special stranger wave so they don't spend all day wondering if they know the person who waved at them?
That's a funny question.
Yeah, the stranger wave is a good way of saying, hi, I don't want to talk to you.
How was it? How's it look? Oh, okay. So Minnesotans are polite, but they're also a little bit standoffish.
Yeah, it's a weird kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's a weird kind of nice. It's not unlike the London kind of nice. Where it's not, it's like polite. Well, we all have manners here,
Right.
but it's not, please come into my world.
Yeah, because it's very Swedish, strict Swedish background.
Like, oh, we'll jump into the weather at any time. But don't talk about a feeling.
What if a feeling could be described as a cold front? Oh my God! I think I'm gonna have to put ice on my comment.
I use my patented fill to fill up the place where feeling should go.
Josh, I ice down your comedy every 15 minutes. Ice off, ice. Here's how I want you to like something.
No.
Hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? Why do they call them cats? They're not. They're not Jewish. I feel closer to you than I've ever felt before.
That's good. Luke Hawley says, does Andy ever go back and listen to old podcasts? I know Andy said getting Doug went well, but if you fast forward little by little, you can see the expression on Doug's face go from mild annoyance to true terror. Fogelnest and Gary the Squirrel was great, though. So he's bashing on you. He's saying you weren't good on that.
Well, somebody. All I know is that the getting Doug with high was one of my favorite things I've ever done. I got so high on it.
All right, and you didn't feel guilty.
I didn't feel guilty, and someone explained it. There was a person who explained it in London. They explained what happened on that podcast.
What was that?
Well, I thought Greg Proops was mad at me. Because I was doing my usual, not bad not listening, but not listening because I was high. But I don't think he was. I thought he was annoyed, but then the person who told me that said that actually was very fun to watch him kind of get half steamed, but he really wasn't that steamed.
Right.
But I don't remember one word of it.
I'm sure you were exasperating to everyone. Anytime it starts with you getting high.
Where does it say hit the Jew below the belt? Where does it say Jew takes it in the shorts?
That's what's nice is I'm TSA pre now. I don't have to take it in the belt anymore. Tweet Bahara.
Tweet Bahara
says, Star Trek Voyager has a character called 7 of 9, and she's a member of the Borg. Then there's Ernest Borgnine. Borgnine. Tweetbahar also says, I'm starting a podcast about Andy's gradual loss of his short-term memory. It's called Pot Spiral.
Pot spiral.
Yes.
I like that. I expected the joke to change at some point.
Here's a third, because comedy comes in threes. I'm starting a new podcast about Joan of Arc. It's called My Favorite Martyr. Oh, they burn a 14-year-old at the stake, and I'm the bad guy?
I like this is written to the tune of Andy Kindler style.
Exactly.
I'm honored and ingratiated.
Let's see who else checked in. Huh?
What are you, Mr. Green Jeans?
I am at best.
It's a good thing we didn't try and do this Sunday or Monday.
Yeah, would have been bad. Too jet laggy.
Maybe Monday would have worked.
This is recovered you?
Monday would have worked.
This is you recovered?
No. I'm not up to snuff.
My brother wants to know, didn't both of you grow up with the story of Sandy Koufax declining to pitch in the World Series on Yom Kippur?
Absolutely. And that was once during the World Series, right? I think just once.
Yeah. He's trying to guilt us for working on Yom Kippur.
Oh, but you know what? I'm a Reformed Jew, which means my rabbi was Episcopalian. I didn't mean to hurt people with that. What was the question on that one?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
You don't get it.
I don't get 2 bites of the apple? No. Oh, here's what I did want to say. Sandy Koufax could have played longer if the Tommy John surgery was around when he was around. That's why he had to retire at 30. His arm was gone.
Yeah.
But the Tommy John, which was perfected by the Kerlin Job Clinic, one of the guys, I think it's Job, is friends with Sandy Koufax, and they just talk about, boy, if it had been around then.
I was really hoping there was going to be a joke, a Tommy John joke.
I'm just giving you the real.
The problem with Tommy John surgery jokes is it makes you want to keep pitching.
I love when you reference baseball. I fell asleep. No, I was like thinking, I didn't really fall asleep, but I was thinking, oh my God, am I tired? And then I looked over, there was nothing going on, and then I was busted in the way.
There was an old man sleeping across from me.
Old man, take a sleepy boo-boo. I'm goofy.
You are. Well, I think the fact that you've nodded off is all we really need to know.
What happened? How long? Was it like a minute and a half?
It was about 6 minutes.
Well, don't take it poisonally.
No, I won't. I'm going to leave it in, but...
Look, anything that you do that embarrasses me, if you want to even direct people to my worst tweets, here's Andy, really defensive. I don't care, my mommy. You make fun of my mommy, doo-dah, doo-dah. My mommy has Parkinson's. I just love to make people feel bad. Oh, boy. Well, I'm very happy to be back.
I'm really glad you're back, too. I missed you.
I missed you, too. I really missed you a lot. And I was thinking about the show all the time, and someone said, what's it with the podcast? It's just that people sit around and talking about nothing for 2 hours? And I said to her, thanks a lot, because that exactly describes.
Yeah, that's a cold take on it, but it's also the truth. If you want to reach us during the week, write us at thoughtspiralshow@gmail.com. Go to zazzle.com/thought_spiral to check out our merch, mugs, and shirts.
Is anything moving?
There's some shirts moving out the
Enough
door.
to make Alex Brazell a nice retirement?
I think so. Well, it might make him want to retire, but...
He never gets retired.
Please do us a favor and go to iTunes and rate us and review us.
We have 232 reviews.
Do we?
I went there today, and it's like 4, almost 5 stars.
No, I think it's all 5 stars.
Oh, I had the 5th star glistening.
243 reviews. All 5 were 5 stars. Make it more, people.
People,
keep it 5
I'm begging
stars,
you.
but make that number go up.
Yeah, because if that
It's our only form of advertising. Is
Right.
what you say to people who are coming to our thing on iTunes.
Sure, a year from now when we have the paywall and
Don't say paywall while we're asking for
sorry,
help.
sorry.
Ixnay on the AWOL pay.
Mr. Weinstein. Mr. Weinstein.
Yes,
come in,
Mr.
please.
Kindler.
Yes, Mr. Weinstein.
What is it? I'm
It's
so
come to
glad
my-
you're back from England.
Well, it's very good to see you, Mr.
It's
Weinstein.
great that you picked up the accent over there.
It's capital. It's capital to see you. Mr. Weinstein, it's come to my attention that we have difficulty ending the show every week.
Really? How shall we solve that problem?
I
sir?
think we should just end it.
Really? Just abruptly?
Just abruptly with no joke, no fum-for-all.
How about a hilarious needle scratch?
Let's do it that way.
Nah, that's ridiculous.
That's too hacky. I'm losing my accent, Mr. Weinstein. Mr. Weinstein, something is happening to my voice, Mrs. Weinstein.
I don't know, but it's the longest you've ever carried on a coherent version of this bit.
knock knock.
Okay, who's there?
Boom. Then you end it right then.